Everybody good so far?
Yes.
So good.
So I've been living and practicing unity principles just short of 30 years now. And I've heard a person or two just in my traveling and going through life say that either the principles get old or they get bored with them or they're not working anymore, and they've never stopped working for me. They just haven't. And so for those of you who are not familiar with the 5 principles, the first one is that there is one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. Everything is God. Everything is of God. God is first cause. God is source. God is all things. The second is that if that is so, then we also are divine. And so man, by his nature, is innately divine. The third is that we can change our experience of life. We may not be able to change life, but we can change our experience of life by changing our thoughts. That's why unity and other new thought, that's where new thought comes from. It's not that we came up with something new. It just means that we can have a new thought, and then you can have a new experience of life. And the fourth one is that where prayer and meditation are our tools, and that helps us expand our experience and our relationship, our awareness of God, and this the first cause in the universe as it is working in life and through us. And so prayer and meditation are our tools. And the last one is that it's not enough to know the principles, you got to work the principles. It works if you work it. Works if you work it. So in nearly 30 years, they have not stopped working or being relevant because I have not stopped working them. I have not stopped working them. And I would venture to say, if you're walking through life and hair still goes up on the back of your neck, or you get irritated a lot by the news or by people or by what's going on in the world, you are not working the principles. Man, if something can set you off like that, you're not working the principles. You're not grasping what they're about. You're not thinking and meditating what they are about. When something starts to get to me, I immediately go back to one or some or all of those principles. When I feel off kilter, when I feel out of alignment, then there's something I've either forgotten or need to refamiliarize, or I need to expand my feeling or experience of one of those principles. So especially if folks are getting on your nerves, and you can't stand it. I mean, I see it on social media all the time. All the time. And we forget. And we're not looking at others and seeing and knowing and embracing their divine spark. And that they are showing up now, doing the best they can with what they've got. And that we are one with them. We are one with them. So when people start to rankle my nerves, I got to take a breath. And I remind myself that we are all divine, and we are all trying to make it work. We are all in search of love. And I can change my experience. Here's principle number 3 kicking in. If I'm starting to get irritated, if I'm starting to get off kilter, I'm getting out of alignment, I can change my experience in the moment by changing my thought. By changing my thought. So how do we do that? It gets real, right? Somebody's on your nerves. You can take a breath. You can take a breath. And you can affirm that God is in and through all things right here and in my affairs. And breathe until that becomes real for you in the moment. You can just acknowledge that I don't have to feel this way. I can change how I feel about what's happening right now by changing my thought. So how can I change my thought about this person, about what's happening right now? I can simply say, I want to give them grace. Because sometimes I need a little grace. Sometimes I rankle other people's nerves. I know, you don't.
Never.
Sometimes you got to look within. It's all an inside job, right? How many times have you heard me say that? It's all an inside job. And a lot of times when we're getting our nerves rankled, it doesn't have a lot to do with them. It has mostly to do with us.
Yes.
And so my question is, why are they getting on my nerves? What's going on with me that they are getting on my nerves? What's going on with me? Because if I am steeped in the principles, if I am using those tools, principle number 4, prayer, meditation, whatever they're doing should slide right off my back like water off a duck. And I should just be able to breathe. Say, God is in and through all things. I don't know what this is, perhaps. I don't understand what's happening. But I have the peace of God. I have the peace of God. It's all good. I've got what I need to handle this. Change your experience in the moment. Change your experience. And if you need to separate yourself from what's happening, separate yourself from what's happening. Go and breathe somewhere. Go and enter the silence somewhere. Go sit in your car. Go in another room. Go in the restroom. Sit in a stall. Do whatever you need. But let yourself have some peace. It's your work to do the principles. They may not know what the principles are. They may not care what the principles are. They may know and not know how to harness them. But the work is ours, ours, ours. You work the principles. You work the principles. Something comes into your life, some devastating experience, and you don't know what to do with it. I always go back to God is in and through all things. God is present here. And I am divine also. Which means what first cause has, what God has, I also have access to in my divinity. And so I can get quiet and ask or wait in the silence to be inspired by what I need to do here and now. What do I need to do here and now? What is mine to do? Maybe it's just breathe. Maybe it's just breathe. Maybe it's just to feel whatever you feel about what's happening, what has now come into your life. Perhaps it's the death of someone. Perhaps you've got your diagnosis. Maybe you just found out your relationship is ending. Maybe your car just got totaled and you don't know how you're going to get a new one. You need transportation. You need to get work. Maybe you just got fired, terminated, laid off. Maybe you're involuntarily retired. And now you're wondering, what happened? Who am I without what I do every day? Who am I? I mean, that's when life puts the brakes on us, right? But you go back to those 5 principles. Do I need to affirm that God is present in this? Do I need to affirm my divinity and that I have the strength and power to deal with what's just been given to me? Do I need to change my thought about what's happening? Then I don't have to consider this a disaster because I know God is in and through all things, including my affairs. That's why I pray prayers like I read earlier. I affirm things like that, my strength and my health, my soundness of mind on a regular basis, so that when stuff starts to come in my life, when stuff starts to hit me, I can breathe. I can breathe until I get settled again within myself. And I start to feel the presence of God moving within me, because God is in and through all things, including you. Including you. Affirming that doors are always opening. Because there's an infinite presence that knows all things, that knows in that moment what it is you need and want. Knew it before whatever happened showed up. And that perhaps by our conscious believing, by our affirming on a daily basis, something that you need is already in the works. Already in the works. I can't tell you how many times I have had an answer or something has manifested in my life in the moment I needed it, and when I thought about it, there was probably something at work before my car broke down or whatever happened. Or I got laid off, or some check didn't clear in the bank as soon as I wanted it to clear, and then all of a sudden I get an influx of cash, and I take that to the bank. That things are at work in the universe, but that takes us having this conscious believing in what's already happening and affirming that on a regular basis. The prayer meditation, the tools that expand our awareness of God and us as divine. Again, the tools, that's the work, the daily work. And if we're doing the daily work, as we often talk about, then we don't have to worry about when the stuff hits the fan. You don't have to worry about when the stuff hits the fan. Because you're already steeped in, you're already here, humming along in peace and equanimity, and you know that all is well, and you go, oh, okay, something happened. All right. First cause, source, the power that is in and through all things is already working for my highest good right now. In all situations. In all situations. And if I'm stumped, again, if I am wondering what the heck is happening, and if I'm feeling lost, then I'm not working the principles. I'm not working them. I've never found them lacking. They don't get old. They haven't gotten irrelevant. Those principles have been around for decades upon decades, and people are still using them. So again, what do you believe? Are you actively working the principles? Are you trying to see God in everyone that you look at and perceive? Whether they're right in front of you, on TV, social media, whatever it is. Can you look at everyone and perceive a divine spark and know that you are one with them, because we are all in this oneness with the divine? Sometimes I've practiced. I studied criminal justice in college for 4 years and spent a good part of that time learning about corrections and correctional systems and prison systems and prison life. And so I'm often watching shows about prison life. And so a lot of times I will watch documentaries about people on death row. And they're talking about their lives, and they're talking about what's happening and what got them where they are. And there are times when I'm hearing stuff that makes my blood curdle, yet I practice watching them and thinking of them as someone with a divine spark who is divine like me. Can I open my consciousness enough to accept them like I accept you? Can I? Doesn't mean I'm inviting them over. Doesn't mean we're going to spend time together. But it means I don't denigrate them or think of them as less because something they have done. We are not what we do. We are divine. You're not the mistakes you've made. You are not the things you've perpetrated. We all perpetrate something. We all have hurt someone. What if we were all judged by the worst thing we've ever done in our lives? Think back to one of those things that you have done in your life that makes you wince. You go, oh, man, I shouldn't have done that. Not proud of that. What if you were judged solely by that the rest of your life? No one giving you grace. No one seeing you for who you are, affirming your divine nature. What if? That alone causes me to give grace to others. And I'm still making mistakes. We all will still make mistakes. We all will still hurt someone at some point, whether inadvertently or consciously. We're going to need grace and forgiveness. Can you forgive? Can you look at others, those that you consider heinous? Maybe we step back and stop considering people heinous, but we consider what they have done heinous. We are not what we do. That'll make it okay. There's no excuse. And we may still have to have boundaries, but that does not negate your divine nature. Perhaps those who hurt others the worst, or who perpetrate the most heinous things, have never known and are not acquainted with their divine spark, have never heard someone tell them that you are divine and you are of God and from God. I talked a number of weeks ago about the celebration of life I went to, and one of the gentlemen who spoke was talking about Bob, who passed away, and advised us all that Bob grew up in a home where he never heard the words, "I love you." Not once. Not once growing up did anybody say to him, "I love you." What about that? What does that do? What could that do to somebody? Now, it didn't make Bob resentful and vengeful. In fact, he went in the opposite direction. He told everybody he ran into, that he loved them. Or they were the cashier in the grocery store, somebody he worked with, someone, an employee of his, a business partner, a vendor, anybody. He would say, "I love you." Bob was capable of affirming the divine spark in everybody he knew, including himself. Including himself, after nobody told him in his formative years that he was loved. Can we do that? Can you walk through your day telling people that you love them, even though they may be inconsequential to your life? And the question is, if we all have a divine spark, is anybody inconsequential to your life? My answer to that for my life is no. No. Everybody's important because everybody has a divine spark. But those are the principles at work. I didn't know that. I didn't believe that. I didn't express the principle like that when I first heard it. It's taken me almost 30 years to get there and live that and own that and embrace that and live from that every day. And when I stumble and fall, when I get to judgment about somebody, I remind myself that they too have the divine spark. They too are of God and from God. And I forgive myself for that transgression. Because I just found somebody lacking. Work in those principles. They're simple, but sometimes not easy. Again, prayer and meditation, prayer and meditation, prayer and meditation, prayer and meditation. The tools of our living, the tools of our expanding and growing, the tools that help us to love and to feel love. The more I spend time in meditation, the more I feel this welling up of the divine within me. And it is not unusual for me to have grateful tears happy tears in meditation, because all of a sudden I'm just feeling this God substance all over me. And I see it in my life. I'm sitting there and I can think about what's happening in my days, how much love overflows into my life, how much abundance there is, that I am always supported. And I know that's because I have this experience of the divine. And that fills me up in the morning like nothing else does. It's like your spiritual Wheaties.
I'm gonna take that home with me.
I have to have it because it helps me move through the world as love. As love. The principles taught me that. Working the principles taught me that. You can read them all day, you can memorize them, you can carry them around, you can give out copies to other people, but if you don't work them, if you don't live them, if you don't let them challenge you, you're not going to have the freedom that's possible when we embrace this philosophy, this new thought philosophy. You can change your life. Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. Whether it's something physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. You have the power to heal your life. Do you realize what freedom and power and strength that gives you? You don't have to walk around waiting for anybody to give you what you need. You are working with that power. I've listened to this meme. Stuff always comes up when we need it. Always, always, always. If your heart is open and you know that this divine power, this divine substance is in and working in the universe, and then stuff will just come to you all the time. I always get the answers I need when I need them. Always. So this meme came up yesterday where a minister is talking about Air Force One. And he says that Air Force One is only what they call that plane when the president is on the plane. Other than that, it has a different name. And actually, whatever plane the president steps on is called Air Force One when he boards that plane. And it is the authority of the presidency that makes it Air Force One, no matter what plane he gets on. And so he likened that to the spirit and the authority of the divine within you. That as soon as you acknowledge that the divine lives in and through you, you have divine authority to heal your life, to create what you want, to be peace in the world where you are not seeing peace, to be love in the world where you don't find love, to be harmony and unity where others see separateness and divisiveness. You get to be what you are seeking in the world. We are always what we're seeking. We just need to open to it. That's your divine authority. Simply, and magnificently, because you are divine. You are divine. Know that about yourself. And the minister said, and I listened to that thing probably 20 times, over and over and over again. He said, when are you going to start knowing that you have spiritual authority and use it, for heaven's sakes? When? That we walk around calling ourselves weak and lacking, that we don't have what we need, that the world is hard, that the world is getting us upset, and the world this, and people that, my husband this, my wife that, my friends that, my car this, and everything's upstairs. When are you going to know that you have spiritual authority? When? When are you going to get it? That it's already here within you. And it makes you free. Free.
Yes, it does.
Oh, we just celebrate 250 years of independence. We have always been free. Always. Before time. Before time. Because God always was, always is, always will be. We are from and of God, and so are we. You had spiritual authority before you showed up here in physical manifestation. When are you going to know it? When are you going to harness it? When are you going to stop walking around like you're less than? When are you going to stop playing small? When are you going to look at the things in your life and say and affirm, I've got something for that, and I am that thing. And the divine within me can resolve this, has this. I have that. I am that. I am that. When you can read a prayer like that, like I read earlier, and read it with authority and conviction in your voice, and let every cell of your body know that thing that you're reading, that you are hale and able-bodied, that you are robust, that every cell of your body is pure substance God. What if you told yourself that every single day? That I am this miracle, this magnificence that is the divine. When are you going to know it? For me, the principles don't get old. They challenge me every single day. Because even if you learn them at one level, then you grow and expand, and you got to embrace them at a different level then. New stuff comes up, or an old familiar pattern comes up, and you have to learn it in a new way now. You have to digest it and embrace it in a new way, because now you are different, and the challenges are different. Family stuff I had decades ago, I deal with now on a different level. And it's all good. It's all good. I know that up front. Even as I'm still a little disquieted and wondering what the heck is going on, I start to settle down because I know I've got something for this. Even if I just affirm that God is in and through all things, sometimes I just say that over and over and over until I feel this. My body, my nervous system start to calm down.
That's right.
And then I start to have that new thought, and my experience of life in the moment changes. If I need to meditate, then I go ahead and use my tool, and I sit in the silence for a while. So I'm working the principles. Not enough to know it, I got to work it. So when you're lost, when you're wondering, what do I do now? Go to the principles. Often, as I've said before, just embracing the first one, that God is in and through all things, is enough to make it good. God is in and through all things. That changes the game for me. In fact, there is no game. The thing, because no thing, nothing now. Nothing, because God is everything. And you, each of you, each of you, each of you in here, all beings, all sentient beings, have that God right here, in and through us, waiting for us to harness it. Can't do it without you. You have this power. You have spiritual authority. And by working these 5 principles, you become acquainted with it. And you know what that authority is. Not just know it this way. Know it here, in your heart, in your bones. You know that you know that you know that you know. Let's take this in meditation. God is in and through all things, principle 1. Only one power and presence in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. Principle 2. All humans by their nature are divine. All humans. All beings, all sentient beings. Divine by nature. Number 3, I can change my experience of this life by having a new thought, by changing my thinking, consciousness at work. We can expand our consciousness in a moment and change our experience. Number 4, I've got something in my tool belt for whatever is happening right now. Prayer and meditation. Expand my awareness of God. Expand God into this understanding right here and right now. Where I previously felt darkness. My awareness of God in and through this experience is the light I needed. Number 5, I'm working these principles because it works when I work it. I work magnificently when I work them. I walk the talk. I walk the talk. I'm a living, breathing principle. Five simple principles are key to freedom, spiritual freedom. So here now I invite you in your heart of hearts to affirm, I am free. I am free. I am free. Because God is in and through all things, including me. Principle at work, because I am at work. I invite you to say in your heart of hearts, I am living divinity. Divinity in action. I am divinity in action. All that I need is within me. All that I need is within me. And no one can take it from me. All power is in me as it is in all creation. All power is in me as it is in all creation. I am filled with the magnificence of the divine. Abundance overflows into my life. Loved beyond measure. I see goodness in everyone I meet. I am love in action. silence, I find everything I need. God is present here and now for me. The power of the universe is present here and now for me. I have spiritual authority. And I am deeply grateful. Let's take a deep breath together. Exhale. Inhale. Inspire, exhale. Breathing in love, breathing out love. Breathing in power, breathing out power. It's all infinite. It is all here. It is all God. God is in and through you. I invite you to say in your heart of hearts, God is in and through me. God is in and through me. And I am deeply grateful. I am deeply grateful. So it is, and so it shall be.